Welcome to Session 6 of the Keep Your Love On series. I'm Danny Silk, and author of the book, Keep Your Love On. In this session, I'll discuss the trust cycle and teach you how to avoid the lingering repercussions of broken trust, whether at home or at work. I'll also introduce simple but powerful phrases to help you express your needs in all of your most important relationships. Enjoy. Tonight, I'd like to talk to you about the trust cycle. There actually is this model that we're going to go through. It's in your handout there. And it has everything to do with understanding what we're getting at in the communication. The deepest part of our relational connection is sitting in getting to the need that somebody has. I mean, if you could imagine somebody rubbing your back or scratching your back, somebody's back itches and they start scratching your leg. You're like, oh, yeah, thanks, but you're not helping me here. A little higher, a little higher. Like, well, I don't feel like going any higher. I just want to scratch your leg here. Okay, see, this is so dissatisfying to have someone not be able to adjust to find the need. And so in communicating, this is really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to give people targets to hit in relational satisfaction. This little graphic here is in your handout, and it's an illustration of how this process works. Now imagine if you have a little baby. This is how babies bond to their mother or father, is through this expression of need. The baby cries, right? The baby's, I got a problem, but I can't tell you what it is, so you have to figure it out. And so now that's exactly what you're doing. You're on a quest to find out what is going on with this baby. How can I help this baby? So as the baby expresses what they need, the mother or father are now going to action. And if it's the father's like, oh gosh, I hope it's one of three things. Hey, I hope this baby is, I hope it's not messy, but let's check. Maybe this baby's messy. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, maybe it's hungry. Hopefully it's it. Oh gosh, it wasn't that one either. Okay, I hope it's tired. I hope it's one of these three things. And the need being expressed has led to a response that says, I care about what you need. Let me see if I can meet that need. And as that need is met, the child is satisfied. That anxiety, that pain, whatever it is that led them to communicate, that need is comforted. And so now we have a loop which suggests this to the bond. And the bond is formed because I expressed what I needed, there was a response to that need, and I was comforted. Now, this is also the role of the Holy Spirit in our life as well, right? Jesus says, I got to go, but I'm going to leave you with the Comforter. Because as we learn to express what we need, and there's a response from heaven, and our need is met, there's an ease that comes from that. And this is where the bond, this is where that connection process begins to accelerate between people. And just imagine, this is how we relate. This is, I express what I need, there's a response. You express what you need, there's a response. And this is how we build this connection. Now, conversely, we have a life cycle of what happens when we don't meet that need. And this is how you create a mistrust cycle, where the person communicates what they need, but there's no response. So they're left in their pain. They're left in their struggle. They're left in their anxiety to just deal with it. Well, it isn't too long before they begin to pick up that in this relationship, it's not safe. It's not safe to communicate what I need because it either gets neglected or there's a reaction that doesn't meet the need. And so this ongoing loop now begins to destroy truth. It begins to destroy trust. It attacks that bond and that connection. So communication, the process of communication is to get to this need, to be able to listen for the need, to be able to find and communicate the need. This requires a specific skill set, really, because a lot of people don't know what they need. A lot of people don't know what they feel. Some people think that getting angry and trying to get another person to do stuff because they're afraid of being punished by my anger, they think that's effective communication. Some people think, well, I'll just ignore what I need. I'll just shove it down into my shoe and pretend like I don't have any needs. Until one day I wake up and I hate you. And you're like, well, how did that happen so fast? I mean, how was yesterday okay and today I hate you? Because the realization is I am in all kinds of pain in my relationship with you. And so let's take a look at one of the most effective tools I'm aware of to communicate effectively what's going on inside of you. It's called iMessages. Now, iMessages are something, how many of you are familiar with an iMessage? Yeah. How many of you don't use them? Yeah. Yeah, it's for whatever reason, like, oh yeah, I had an active listening class, I heard that, yeah, whatever. Don't ever use them. Awesome, that's not the same thing, you know? It's crucial that I slow this down for you so that you can see what we're doing. Because what we're doing is we're going to identify some of the most effective pieces of information that you can communicate. And the better you get at it, the more clear the target is for the person who cares about you, who wants to respond well, who wants to help satisfy that need. All right? So it's going to start with I feel. I feel a feeling, okay? Let's stop there. I feel a feeling. This is revelation here. I feel a feeling. I don't feel a thought. Okay, so if you find yourself saying something to the effect of, I feel like, and as soon as you hear yourself say like, stop. Because you're about to describe a thought. I feel like you're a jerk. You know, now, I feel like you act like your mother. See, what you're not describing you're not describing what's going on inside of you are describing a thought. If you can insert the word think in your sentence and it makes sense, it's not a feeling. I think you're a jerk. Makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, that's a thought. That's a judgment. I think you act like your mom. That's a judgment. That's a thought. But you can't say, I think hurt. I think rejected. I think disconnected from you. It doesn't make any sense. Why? Because those are feelings. So the first thing is you feel a feeling. And that's what you communicate. You're trying to communicate, I'm experiencing you, I'm experiencing this, I'm experiencing that a certain way. Vital information you don't have, you don't know. Lots of people are going to express, I feel angry. I feel angry. It's the only feeling I know. It's the only feeling I feel. It's because I don't know any other feelings. For years, I taught a group of men and women who'd been convicted of domestic violence. And one of the first things that we did with them was we had to introduce them to themselves. Because they really didn't know what was going on. They just thought, I was okay until I was in a rage. I'm fine until I'm crazy. How you feeling? Crazy. If you'd leave me alone, I'd be fine. So I have two emotions. Like, no, you don't. You have a whole rainbow of them, right? You have a whole bunch of them. And so putting words to feelings is like a new thought. Children behave their feelings because they don't have words. So it's not hard to tell how a child is feeling. We know they're upset, but we really don't know specifically what's going on. But they're throwing toys, they're kicking on the floor, they're slamming doors, they're running out of the room, they're crying. Like, okay, something's going on. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. But when they grow up, and that's how adults act, when adults are still behaving their feelings, we got some catching up to do. So it's important that I begin to put words to my emotions so that I can communicate them, or I will forever behave my feelings like a child.
We pastor a church, and it's just incredible, multi-generational church. And we're right across from university, so we have a lot of young couples and couples that really need to be able to understand how to keep their love on in relationships, definitely.
This book is such a blessing because we've used the materials for the premarital classes, counseling, and Keep Your Love On we've used in connect groups, which is like just the perfect place for young couples and just relationships of all sorts. So these tools have been amazing, so empowering for our body.
So I feel a feeling, and it's generally connected to something that's happened. Something that was said, something that is being done, something that happened, but there's a win. There's a something that happened. Connect the feeling to something that happened to help the person understand what this is related to. And then there's something that you need to feel. You feel this way, it's not working for you. You really need to feel this way. What is that feeling? Now, I need to feel is not I need you to do. Okay, I feel hurt that you didn't come home on time, and I need you at home 5 minutes after work. No, that's not, that's, I don't like how I feel, I want control of your whole life. That's not gonna work, okay? That's not gonna communicate well, that's gonna lead to more anxiety. So I feel a feeling, when this happens, I need to feel a different feeling. That's what we're going for, okay? Some examples of this. For whatever reason, Sherry has a very different experience of my driving than I do. I have no idea how this is happening. I am a great driver. I don't know what she's so afraid of. This should be exhilarating. We're headed down the road together, and she is trying to communicate to me that she is not having any fun. And I'm having the time of my life. She gets angry. She starts to communicate what she thinks of me. You're going to kill us. You drive like a maniac. You need to slow down. What's the matter with you? Well, I disagree with everything she just said. I disagree with what you just said. Therefore, it's invalid. Because I'm having a completely different feeling than you. One of us is crazy. Let's see which one of us. It's you. That was easy. That was so easy. See, this is why it's so important that I'm paying attention to the feeling that somebody else is having. Because what I'm doing, the way I'm driving, is damaging my relationship with my wife. The way I'm handling what's going on in her experience of it is damaging our relationship. So as soon as I realize she's not angry, she's not trying to control me, she's scared. Whoa, you're scared? What are you scared of? So I tried to talk her out of being scared. You shouldn't be scared. I do this all the time. You should see how I drive when you're not in the car. Didn't help. Didn't help at all. It's like her saying, I'm hungry. And me saying, I'm not hungry. You can't be hungry. No. And so she begins to say, I feel scared when you drive like this. I need to feel safe when I'm in the car with you. Now, there's some new information for me. Like, whoa. You feel scared and you want to feel safe. Now, we're going to get to boundaries in a little while, but she has options. You know, the first time she gets in the car and I drive like that, and she's like, ah! Okay, she's a victim. She's totally a victim. She had no idea this was coming. She had no idea. Wow. The next time we approach a car together, she has choices. You know, last time I was in that car with you, I felt terrorized. I need to know I'm going to feel safe if I get in that car with you ever again for the rest of our lives together. She has a choice. She could take another car. She's powerful. But she gave me some really great information. If I choose to minimize it or neutralize it, then it leads to me behaving in such a way that she feels like she needs to protect herself from me. And now we have a disconnection. Now that anxiety flows in. Now we have two scared people with the worst of who they are on the surface trying to control each other. And so that's why the way that we communicate, it sends a message of value. It sends a message of care. It lowers anxiety. It's minimizing the experience of fear between us. It hurts me when you talk to me like this. I need to hear about you, and I need to feel valued while we talk. Remember, last session we talked about you tell me about you because you're an expert on you. You're not an expert on me. And I will tell you about me. This is the conversation. The conversation is, let me tell you about what's going on inside of here. I'm an expert on what's going on. I actually live in here. I live in here. Let me tell you about it. And you live in there. Tell me about it. So in this conversation, we're lowering anxiety by A, telling you clearly who's in here, giving you really great information to work with. Because it's in that information that you can make as good a decision as you possibly can to help meet a need that I have. So now when Sherry and I drive around, I'm aware that there's a certain line. There's a line. I find that line, but I know where it is. And she says, okay, you're scaring me. All right, okay, all right. Because I never want to scare you. It's never my goal that you would be afraid of me. Never. I know the consequences of blowing past that information. So I want you to know I will adjust when I understand what it is that you need. Because in our communication, the deepest level of communication is finding what you need and meeting that need. And it's also, I love when we're together. I love it when things are like this. I love this experience. I want to experience this more often. It's also a positive communication of what it is that I want you to know that I really enjoy about what we're doing. This is more good information. So as we begin to master this I message, I'm mindful that I could be telling you a thought, instead of a feeling, because thoughts are less vulnerable. When I say I feel like, and then I describe a thought, it's really about something out there. It's not about who's in here. But I feel sad. I feel hurt. I feel lonely. I feel disconnected. I feel rejected. I feel punished. I feel exhilarated. I feel happy. I feel loved. I feel connected. These are feelings. This is the good information that I want to give to you. And what is it that I need to feel? Well, it's just the opposite generally. I feel scared and punished. And I need to feel loved and safe in our conversations. This is generally a pretty healthy adjustment. It takes practice. It takes time. It takes the goal of connection. But when the goal is connection, it affects the tools that you use to communicate.
There's a lot of application in the business arena as well. I think it's very much like a personal relationship. It's one of those things that's going to take time, and they're going to have patience, because you can't go in with, now I'm going to trust my employees and expect them to really perform much differently that next day. It's something that's going to have to be nurtured, those relationships, like a personal relationship. So I wouldn't look for any, real big ROI on it for months down the line, but ultimately, it's got to be effective for them.
Most of us are scared to be hurt or controlled in our relationships. Therefore, being vulnerable and revealing our feelings and needs seems counterintuitive, but it is also one of the most effective ways to build lasting intimacy. Knowing the truth sets us free. Exchanging the truth will help us deepen levels of trust. So keep your love on, everybody.